My name is Spero Villioti. Join us as we unpick the threads of our creative fashion community, always remembering our values of nurturing, being commercially savvy and extraordinary. It's a crazy place filled with fun, passion, dedication, and so much laughter, which we love.
Hello everybody, thank you for tuning into our latest episode of Growing Fashion Villioti Unpicked. Today we are going to be chatting to one of the Villioti alum. Her name is Miriam Rahim, and she is joining us, taking some time out of her busy schedule to chat to us about her experiences and herself with Villioti as well.
Yeah.
Hello Miriam.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, and yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful. Miriam, thank you so much for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me.
Always. It's always a pleasure having you here. Miriam did feature in our one earlier episode that we did. It was one of our first episodes when Spero was working in the back and you came to chat to him about a few things, and I think you were in the episode for like a snippet.
Yeah.
So it's nice for everybody to get to know you now. So getting to know you, tell me a little bit about your background, your childhood, growing up in Malawi.
Okay, so I was born in Malawi, in a city called Blantyre. I lived there for 18 years of my life. I went to school there, and then we moved to South Africa because obviously economically South Africa is, a lot better than Malawi. But I still love Malawi. It was amazing. Growing up there was such a rich experience for me. But the only thing is it's quite backwards, if I can say that, because being a third world country and one of the poorest countries in the world, there isn't a lot in terms of development. So obviously my parents thought for our better future, it would be better to move to South Africa. So, yeah.
And being in that third world country set up, your experience with fashion, what was it like there, and how did you come up with how did your interest develop within the fashion industry, or for the fashion industry?
So there isn't much. Well, when we lived there wasn't much in terms of fashion. We didn't really go shopping for clothing. With us, because we had such a big family, it was mostly like hand-me-downs. Everyone was wearing everyone else's clothes. But now, I haven't been there in a while, but apparently it's developed quite a bit in terms of fashion. A lot of up-and-coming designers are like showing globally, so that's great. I wasn't a fashion person when I was young. I do remember like playing with dolls, dressing them up, chopping up my clothes to make clothes for them, getting in trouble. But
I think we've all been there.
Yeah. But I wanted to study medicine and become a doctor. Because we moved here, it kind of interfered with that and didn't end up working out. But when I was young, I always told my mom, I'm going to be a doctor, but I'm going to have a shoe boutique because I loved shoes. So that's how it started, because I was obsessed with shoes, and I was like, okay, maybe this is something that I really want to do. And then I investigated it, and I realized, no, I do actually love fashion. Yeah. So
how did you investigate it? Like what mediums did you use and platforms did you follow?
When we moved here, I was home for 2 years. I didn't do anything. But we had fashion TV, when we used to have fashion TV, and that's all I'd watch the whole day. And my dad would be like, why are you always watching naked people on TV? I'm like, they're not naked, it's clothes, it's fashion. So I spent a lot of time watching fashion TV, and then my mom saw that I was very interested in fashion, and she pushed me, and she enrolled me in sewing courses and stuff like that.
That's so nice to hear though, because a lot of the time people don't really get as much parental support when it comes to
fashion. But my mom loves fashion, so she couldn't do it, so she kind of pushed me to do it. So she enrolled me in different sewing courses, and then eventually I was like, no, this is not it. Like, I can't end here. I can't just do a sewing course and that's it. So she's like, no, maybe you study actual fashion. Like, let's see what you can do. And I was like, oh, I don't think so. I don't know. So she Googled design schools, and she was like, maybe you should apply here. So I applied on a whim, but I was like, there's no way I'm getting in Villioti. Like, there's no way. But then I got called for an interview, and I got told to bring a mood board and if I had anything to show. So I brought all my sewing samples that I made, like a dress, I came with a big bag, and Spero was like, no, that's okay, that's fine. And I was like, no, I've got more, let me show you. So I showed him everything that I had made, and I showed him my mood boards. But then
And the mood boards were quite specific. They had to have that 1 centimeter white border, and it was all like.
Yeah, there was like rules.
I remember that.
So I didn't really know what a mood board was. So like I googled it and I stuck random stuff. But obviously it was stuff that inspired me. It wasn't just completely random. So I stuck it all down and I put like glitter on the side and diamantes and all sorts of weird things. I actually had it until recently. So I bought that.
Okay.
But then we applied quite late. So I think it was mid-Jan, if not end of Jan.
Oh, wow.
Then, like, it was too late to get in, and I begged Spero. I was like, please, let me start. He's like, no, the classes have already started. You're 2 weeks late. And I was like, please, I'll catch up. I promise. Please, please. So then it's like, if you're sure and you really want to, then we'll let you. And he let me start late.
Oh, how was that?
That was, at the beginning, it was like, oh shit, I'm never going to catch up. I played myself. I should have waited until next year. But then everyone was so supportive. All the lecturers like helped me to catch up. And it wasn't, because the first 2 weeks is mostly like you're just getting to know the course and you just
it's more like an introduction to everything.
So it wasn't like, I didn't miss out like on hectic stuff.
Yeah.
So I caught up and actually did quite well. So that was good.
Lovely. And you had quite a great group.
I did.
Hey, Anita and everybody. It was a lovely group.
And it was a very different group. We at the beginning we started with one guy, and then I don't know if we scared him or what, he dropped out. so it was just girls. And
how was your experience at Villioti? So while you were studying and starting off from first year going into third year?
It was afterwards that I realized that, oh my god, I missed it. It was amazing. I loved it. But while I was here, obviously you know how the pressure is. And if you have like bad time management skills, it's even worse. My time management skills were disgusting. I was always up the night before submission, right through, so I could make it on time. A lot of the times I handed in incomplete assignments because I just never finished them. I couldn't make it.
Miriam!
It was bad. But everyone was supportive and they helped me as much as they could.
But so your studies and being on campus and what you learned, I mean, you took some sewing courses before, but then your first few months within first year, don't you feel like
I found that I actually wasted my time with those sewing courses because what I learned here was completely different. Of course, they were just teaching me how to use a sewing machine, which was great, but it was firstly a domestic sewing machine, which didn't help me when I came here. And secondly, there wasn't as much detail, like in understanding garments and patterns and why you're sewing something the way you're sewing. What is the purpose of a dart? You know, why do you need elastic or a fastening in your waistband? All of that. So I learned all of that when I came here, and those are the first things you learn, like in first year. You know, you learn all the basics of why something is the way it is.
So really from the get-go, you were changing your understanding, developing, growing a little bit more than what you had been before.
And regretting wasting the last 2 years and not starting earlier.
Here we go.
No, but I learned a lot.
That's good to hear. That's good. And then your third year collection. Tell me about that. Developing and designing when you were in third year at Villioti. Who was your lecturer?
Aisha.
Aisha was your lecturer?
Yeah, and Sue.
Okay.
No, Aisha was my lecturer in second year and Sue was my lecturer in third year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And your collection, explain a little bit about it.
Okay, so my collection was very like bohemian and like Arab Bedouin inspired. From first year, I knew that's what I was going to do for my third year collection. Everyone was like, no, you're going to change your mind, you know, as you learn.
But modest fashion as well, given your background?
I'd like to say yes, but no.
Okay.
Like the influence, the Arab influence does come from my culture and my religion, but it wasn't modest. My collection wasn't modest at all. Like there's like skimpy little dresses and low cut dresses.
We'll put pictures up.
Yeah. So I always knew that's what I wanted to design for my third year collection. When I got to third year, I presented, obviously you have to present your 3 ideas. I put the most effort into the one I wanted. I didn't really put effort in the other 2 because I wanted Spero to pick the one. And he picked the one and I was so excited. The most amazing part for me was picking out the fabrics and putting them together. Because
you had quite rich prints.
And they were all completely different prints, and putting them all together and finding like a harmony. And then I got embroidery done as my technique for my garments. I didn't do it myself. I got someone to do it for me. There was that, and then there was getting like all the accessories and putting everything together. It was such an amazing experience. And then when we did the fitting, that for me was just like, oh my god, I did that. Like,
it's real. You've got all 5 of your models lined up and they're all dressed in your outfits.
Yeah.
It is quite the experience. It really, really is. And the night of your fashion show, how did you feel?
Oh my god. You know, when you look at models, you think, oh my god, they're the nastiest, rudest people. Like, they're probably like so rude. They are the people who helped me calm down on the day of my graduation, because I was so nervous and I was shaking because, like, I get nervous in front of crowds.
And you get all beady-eyed. I've seen it. You're like,
and we have to walk out. I even slipped. I don't know if anybody had noticed on the day or not, but I slipped on the ramp when I went out after after your models walk down, you have to walk down. I walked down, I slipped, and I was like, you see this? I knew this was going to happen. I'm going to fall off the ramp now. I didn't. I managed to make it back. But the models were so supportive. My classmates were so supportive as well. It was amazing. And I was scared, but
it's amazing. A very different feeling. Like, you've done it. You've helped your group has done this fashion show. You've shown your collection. It's like, compared to what you knew from the beginning up until putting your stuff down the runway, it's quite the experience.
And that feeling of achievement that you get, you know, when they call
it's
out
overwhelming.
Your name. Oh my god, like, wow. I don't think I've ever felt anything like it, and I don't think I want to feel anything like it anytime.
Well, you never know. You've done some pretty beautiful things coming up.
Yeah.
So leading up to that, it's your career. So after Villiotti, you were...
So after I graduated, I just chilled for a bit, and then Spero asked, like, you know, what am I doing? And I was like, no, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. And he was like, would you consider retail? There's this place called the Suti Group. I know someone there. Maybe I can recommend you. And in my head, I was like, nah, retail's not for me. I can never do retail. I can't stand like retail. Being in a store the whole day, I could never. But then I thought about it, and I spoke to my mom, and she was like, no, maybe you should try it. You know, it's an experience. If you don't like it, you can stop. You know, you're not bound to it. So I said, no, I'll try it. I told Spero, I'll try it. So he spoke to someone there at Suti. They interviewed me. Again, I was nervous. I made so many mistakes in my interview. I remember they asked me, do you know anything about Giorgio Armani? And I was like, no, I don't. But I studied fashion. Of course I know stuff about Giorgio Armani. What do you mean? But they hired me anyway, so that was great. I started as a casual. I think this was in 2017. Worked my way up. So I started working at Hugo Boss in Sandton as a casual, and then they needed help at the Longchamp store here in Hyde Park, so they transferred me. So I was here as a casual as well. Slowly I became a permanent, and then I got promoted to assistant manager, then I got promoted to a manager. I worked as a manager for 2 years, and then my brand manager was going on maternity leave, so I offered to help her, and I was like, you know, if there's an opportunity at head office, please consider me and whatnot. And she was like, yeah, you can help me because I won't be in office. And, you know, she gave me a whole bunch of stuff to do. And I think my boss saw potential, and he was like, you know what, you can move to head office, and this is what you're going to do. You're going to work with these brands. So they gave me a couple of brands that I'm assisting with at the moment. So I'm working with Salvatore Ferragamo,
lovely,
Tod's, Jimmy Choo, Longchamp, the Luminance Group, and Versace.
Okay.
So the Versace first line and the Versace jeans as well. We just opened up a store in Mall of Africa last month.
Oh wow, that I think I saw that online as well.
Yes.
So that was you.
Yeah. No, it wasn't me by myself. It was me and my team. But yeah, that was us.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So from the beginning, like unpacking the store, VM, you know, doing everything to make the store ready to trade. We did all of that.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was such an amazing experience.
So would that be your highlight so far with your career going forward?
Definitely.
So what is your title now?
Assistant brand manager.
Assistant brand manager.
Yeah.
But from all of that to now becoming assistant brand manager and taking part in one of your first store openings is a big deal.
It is, and I never thought it would happen. Like when you study fashion, everyone thinks I'm going to be a designer, I'm going to start my own label, you know.
They don't think about all those other things.
You don't realize how many options you actually have when you go out there, and being a designer is amazing, creating stuff is amazing, but if you're terrible with your hands and if you're lazy with sewing, it's not for you. It's not for you. And even now people beg me, like, you studied fashion, don't you want to make me a dress? And I'm like, nope. I have a machine, but nope, I'm not doing that. So yeah, no, I love it. It's amazing. And also working with international brands, it exposes you to so much. Even with COVID, we're doing all our collection buying online. We get to speak to so many people, and even though I haven't been to Europe yet for any of the buys, but it's still an amazing experience. You know, we're still doing all the buys and being a part of all the collections.
It's a very different world. Very different world.
It really is.
Well, that's amazing and so exciting to hear, Miriam. Thank you for telling us.
No, thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure, and we look forward to seeing more and maybe more store openings that we can get discounts for.
Yes, to more store openings. I don't know about the discounts though.
Oh, bummer. But thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure. Hello. Who are you? Morning. How are you? Good, thank you. So we're in Ferragamo today doing stock counts. I'm at Jimmy Choo today. This is the amazing store. As I'm sure you've seen on Boiti's Instagram, she's wearing our beautiful shoe that she got from us recently. It's called the Mets. Stunning!
So look who's back from Cape Town.
Yeah, I'm back. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Spero.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. You look nice today.
Thank you. I've gained a lot of weight in Cape Town.
No.
Yes. I'm going to start dieting because I don't feel nice.
We can't have that all the time.
I like food. It's my problem.
What are we working on?
This is a dress that I'm doing for a lady in America.
Mm-hmm.
So this is for, she's wearing it to her, it's the pre-wedding dinner or rehearsal dinner, as they call it in America. So this is ready, it will go off on Monday. It's actually ready to go now, but it's the weekend's coming up and I don't want to put it in the post before. So Monday, we're heading to Postman. She's actually got 2 dresses that we're sending her.
I love this color.
Yeah, it's nice. She calls it Periwinkle.
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 That's beautiful.
And also today we have Elsie, who has come to join us as my seamstress. And Elsie used to work for another South African designer called Andrew Fredericks. who used to make beautiful dresses, and Elsie used to work there for many years. Hi, Elsie.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
I'm good, thanks.
And so how many years did you work for Anne?
27.
27 years.
No, from, I think, 12 years.
12 years.
Yes.
And Anne's immigrating, right? She's
Yes,
going to
she
live in
went
France.
to France now.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. Well, welcome. It's lovely having you join the team, Elsie.
Yes, I'm happy.
And we hope that you have many good years
Yes.
with us.
Yeah.
And you must go to YouTube and watch,
Yeah.
because now you're going to be famous.
Elsie, the
And you can tell
superstar.
Anne to watch so she can see that you're happy here.
I'm happy.
Thanks, Anne, for sending us Elsie.
Thank you.
We're going to look after her, and she'll be
Yes.
very happy.
Thank you very much.